Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, everyone. First-time listeners, thanks for joining us. Regular listeners, thank you for your loyalty. All of you are appreciated. Hey, coming up later in the show, we're going to talk to Rachael Payne, Rebekah Merriman, and Bob Wendland from Good Night Theater Collective as their production of Sens and Sensibility opens tonight. Tonight, they will also unveil their Season 9 lineup. Oh, but wait, we have the scoop. You can find out on this show what they'll be giving us next season. Speaking of seasons, Season 2 of Late Night Boomin begins tonight as well. In just a few minutes, we find out what's in store for that show with its host, Jack Unruch. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Whatever you're drinking it out of, might very well be determined by where and when you're listening. My choice, as usual, a Jasper Newton, which is Jack Daniels Diet Coke with a lime. Now for you, whether it's a cup of coffee, glass of milk, bottle of water, mug of beer, cocktail, glass of wine, or a flute of champagne, lift it high and toast it to friends coming to the rescue. At last Thursday's Midtown Coffee Radio Hour live recording, there wasn't much light up on the stage, so I had to pull out the handy-dandy little clip-on thing to go on the stand, and the batteries kept going down and down. And as well as many of you know, I've been having some eye issues over the past few months with some laser surgeries, etc. So I first of all, I printed my script out in a size 18 font. And so here I am wincing, closing my eyes, trying to get whatever I can out of it. But first a couple of castmates try to help me out. And then good friend, audience member Graham Wilson comes to the rescue. And through all of us, pardon the pun, there was enough to see me through it. Cheers to friends coming to the rescue. Speaking of cheers, which just happens to rhyme with beers, say cheers with a beer or your favorite cocktail at Chasers, West 12th Street at Ellis Road. Make sure you grab some food while you're at it. Join me on Monday nights for Dave Holly Hour Trivia starting at 7. This coming Monday's theme is In the Middle. Honorable mention. So what over the past week made Dave laugh, guffaw, chuckle, chortle, giggle, smile, or maybe even shed a tear of joy? The Dakota Academy of Performing Arts production of Willy Wonka Jr. was, as the Candyman says, satisfying and delicious. Now, I usually don't single out one cast member when it comes to a youth production because they all deserve that standing ovation and they all did an amazing job. Phenomenal. But Isaac Bullis as Willy Wonka, absolutely outstanding. Stage presence, great, and his singing, wow, stupendous. We will be seeing this young man on stage for a long time. All right, later in the show from Good Night Theater, we'll talk to Rebekah Merriman, Rachael Payne, and Bob Wendland. But coming up next, it's going to be Late Night Boomin' time with Jack Unruch on the Dave Holly Hour. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of luck? Prepare to be mesmerized as we invite you to our newest art exhibit, Luck. Step into a world where chance meets creativity, where the roll of the dice and the flip of a coin inspire breathtaking works of art. From paintings that capture the essence of serendipity to photos that embody fortune's touch, Luck explores the mystical forces that shape our lives. Join us for an unforgettable journey through the realms of luck and destiny. The exhibit promises to ignite your imagination and leave you in awe. Join us at Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts during March, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Admission is free, so bring your friends, family for an experience like no other. You can see it live at Serendipity Studio, located downtown Sioux Falls in the historic Shriver Building at 230 South Phillips Avenue on the second floor. Don't miss your chance to be inspired by luck. See you at the exhibit.
Are you an artist? Need some funding to further your art? There's a great opportunity for you through a Sioux Falls Arts Council program. The Artist Microgrant program gives away several microgrants to local artists, no matter what art discipline you're in. Unlike more traditional grants, a microgrant is very easy to apply for. Go to artssiouxfalls.org. If you haven't done so yet, create a listing on the Artist Directory, which is beneficial in its own way. Then go to the Artist Microgrants page and apply online. The process is simple. Find out more about the Sioux Falls Arts Council as well online at artssiouxfalls.org.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics inside Oscar's Mini Storage. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes, special open studio nights, and completed ready-to-purchase items. Bisque studio time or painting parties are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in person today or email tjsceramics@gmail.com for more details.
For him, every day is a holly day. Here again, Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 220. Can you believe it, Jack?
I can't. I'm in shock. My mouth is
goodness.
agape.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that we are this far along. And, there's twos in there, 220. And, what's coming up tonight? On Thursday night,
well, by golly, come to mention it, I believe it's season 2.
Season 2
of Late Night Boomin.
How about that?
Wow.
Yes.
220. Come on.
Yeah.
We love it.
We'll hit that on late night, too.
Yes, we will.
Of course, I'll be 100 by then.
We'll run out of film by then.
You even were cranking your hand
yeah,
like it was
I was
actual
doing the cranking
film.
hand motion.
Hey, great to have you here. And, of course, since I started that way, I still have to get in this phrase. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire, arts, and entertainment. Always a pleasure to have you in the Dipsy Doodle studio here as well.
I love the Dipsy Doodle studio.
Yes, you do.
Is that new, calling it the Dipsy Doodle studio?
No, it's always been the Dipsy Doodle studio.
Okay.
See, here's how it all works.
Okay.
There's Big D Entertainment.
Big D.
Yeah, and that's what pays sales tax and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then this is the Dipsy Doodle Productions studio. But also, that's 1/4 of Big D Entertainment.
Okay.
Then there's Dave Holly Variety Entertainer, which is how we have come to be associates.
Yes.
All right. Then there is the Dave Holly Hour.
We love the Holly.
Which is what we're on right here. And then there's, of course, the Vaudies.
Yes.
Variety show.
And all of those
4.
have D in them somewhere.
Yes, they do.
The Vaudies.
Yeah, the Vaudies.
Yes.
Modern day vaudeville.
Yes.
Yeah.
All under the Big D umbrella.
Yep, because variety is the spice of life. And I tell you what, I have to say it that last week we had one of the best vaudeville shows of all time.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just amazing. We're in a new venue, and we're at Remedy at 611.
Ooh.
And perfect spot for us.
Yeah.
It works so well. But speaking of new venues, not so much a new venue as a new place where people will find our wonderful Late Night Boomin' show.
This is true.
Yeah. So what's going on? Tell us about it for season 2.
Yes. Okay. So we are so excited to kick the season off this week. I believe so. This episode's going to air the same
Right.
night as the live show.
Yes.
So if you're listening,
Yeah.
hey, come on
Especially
down.
if you're listening in the morning, because it's a minute after midnight. Some people actually do.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I just got back from the bar, but Dave's show is on.
Pop it on. Pop it on and then stay up all night because at 7 p.m. tonight,
yes,
we are coming back for season 2 at the Washington Pavilion. And so Late Night Boomin', for those of you that don't know, how it works is we start off, we film the show in the Washington Pavilion. And
in the Belbus.
In the Belbus Theater. Yeah. That's right. Yep. And so we invite anyone and everyone to come on in, come hang out with us, and see us film the show. And so we film it there live, all the screw-ups, all the cuts, all the mistakes, and that's sometimes the funniest parts.
Exactly. Or when an old guy in a wheelchair forgets a line or forgets to burp or something.
It's a burper when I'm choking on marshmallows or, when whatever happens. And we're there, and so you can come in and you can see it filmed. And then if I didn't mention, it's a free show.
I was just going to say, is the ticket price still the same?
You can't beat free.
Exactly.
So come on, somebody. It's a free show. And then after that, we take what we filmed, we chop it up, we put it online. And then, of course, it will air on television. And so...
but here's the change in venue for television.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we, for season 1, we were on Fox and NBC. Mm-hmm. And this year, we are going to be on Kelloland for season 2. And so we're going to start airing in July. So July 6th is the official air date. When we'll begin.
July 6th. Wow.
Yeah.
Great date.
Yeah. July 6th. Is that a special date?
I usually take that day off just because we've usually had a great time on July 4th.
Yes. Yes. 2 days after the 4th. And so it will be a Saturday. It'll be a Saturday. We're going to be on Saturday nights, 11 p.m. Saturday nights.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a great time.
On actual Kello?
On Kello, yep.
Not the CW?
Not the CW, not the plus, not the minuses, none of any of that.
On Kello TV. Wow, that's quite a coup.
Yes.
Yes. And, Kello has a guy there that does this midday show. And I think we're familiar with him, too. Mitchell Olsen?
I think he's one of them. Him and Old Man Potter don't usually get along.
Yeah, because Mitchell goes around and tells everybody that he produces Late Night Boomin'. But yet, here's Potter, and cranky as he may be, he's, the one that writes the checks.
Yeah.
And, he's always got ideas for the show, and he kind of gets his way. Yes.
He's made the first ever film. He invented film.
Yes, he invented it.
Yeah.
Forget video. I mean, go back. I mean, he and Edison had to have been incredibly close.
I heard that they were good friends. I think Mr. Potter was telling me one time that they were pals.
Well, Mr. Potter's grandfather had worked for Thomas Edison.
Really?
Yes. Yes, true story.
See, here's what I think we should do. I think you should get Mr. Potter, you call him up, get him on the show. You should call up Mitchell and bring him on the show. And then Jerry Springer right here.
They can duke it out.
Yeah. But yes, it's going to be fun, and we are very excited for the year to come. Here's the thing about 2024. I don't know about you. I feel like 2024 is going to be a cool year. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it is. There's something about it that's like, man, this year feels hopeful. I don't know. How do you feel about 2024?
I am encouraged because I've already gone through quite a bit in 2024 so far. But, hey, I'm still smiling, still got a good attitude towards things, and pretty sure that the rest of the year is just going to be peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream.
Or, peach cobbler. Or black licorice, maybe.
Or some black... Well,
Potteros,
sometimes it's good to get the bad stuff out of the way. They say if it's your job to eat a frog, then you should do it first thing in the morning.
Yes. I've read the same book.
Have you heard that?
Yeah. In fact, interviewed him one time years ago.
What? Is that from that... which book?
Oh, I got to think of the guy's name.
Is it Atomic Habits?
Well, there's a whole bunch that he did, but... Eat That Frog was one of the books.
Oh, that's the book.
That's the book.
Okay.
Eat That Frog, and it was about, if you eat a frog first thing, everything else will be much easier throughout the day.
Peach cobbler.
Yeah, peach cobbler. I can't wait for it. Yeah, near that old oak tree.
We used to sit under the oak tree and eat peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler.
But here's the thing. Summertime is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, peach cobbler, all of these cobblers abound.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
Are you excited for the summertime coming up?
Oh, very much so.
Oh, what do you look forward to
I've
most?
aged, and it used to be I hated the summer.
Really?
Yeah.
You used to be a winter man.
Well, primarily because I loved snow skiing. And that was my winter thing. And being a very large person back then, snow skiing was my equalizer. People couldn't believe that a guy that weighed 300 to 400 pounds could ski that well. And so I always loved that. And then life started to change, and, we have either replacement parts in the body or we're missing some parts and things along that line. And you actually do get to the point where you crave a little more warmth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I look forward to it now. I mean, I still kind of have my limits, but it used to be that it had to be like under 80 for me.
Really?
To enjoy being outside.
Yeah.
But we kind of shoved that up to about 87, 88 degrees now.
Turning the thermostat up a little bit there.
And I can feel comfortable in all that. And, of course, got a great place here at the Dipsy Doodle Studios. Right outside. It's called the Firefly Oasis.
We love the Oasis.
Yeah, we do love the Oasis, and it's just too great of a place. And the Firefly is getting ready to open soon. Yeah.
There's going to be a line out the door.
Well, yeah, and we have grilled on it the past 2 nights now.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's...
Is this the first time of the season that
you've
grilled?
No,
Okay.
we grilled... I think we grilled at least once per month.
Really?
Yeah,
I
think
in those
so.
cold months.
Even in the cold ones,
Yes.
we found the right days to at least make sure that, the grill still worked. We got propane. We're ready to go with everything.
See, now that's what I love. That's what I'm so excited for is the summertime foods that come out to play. You know what
watermelon.
I mean? Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me there's nothing better than sitting outside munching some watermelon with some potato salad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
we're in picnic mode already.
We are
aren't
in picnic. We're getting. Here's a question. So, you have to pick one or the other. Okay, you get 2 choices.
Okay.
A, we're talking Christmas foods, Thanksgiving foods. Like
you do this with everything. You always throw Christmas in there.
Christmas foods and Thanksgiving foods, which is like, we're talking sweet potatoes, turkey, rolls, all that stuff. Or summertime foods. We're talking hamburgers, brats, potato salad, macaroni salad.
See, when you put the word hamburger in there, it's automatic then.
Game
it's
over.
Summer. Yeah.
Game over.
Yep.
The hamburger is a top 3 food.
Yes, it is.
It has to be, hands down, right?
It's a gift from God.
It is, 100%.
Along with caramel and peanut butter.
Oh, don't even get me started. I love, what I'm doing though, is I've never, so I grew up Presbyterian. I was not in the Catholic Church, so I've never done Lent before. Mm-hmm. But at the church I go to, they challenged us to just try abstaining from something that you'd be tempted to indulge in for 40 days. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the thing. Mm-hmm. And so for 40 days, it ends on Easter Day. Mm-hmm. I've been abstaining from all sweets. And it is the hardest thing I've got such a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
It is so tough.
Wowzers.
Yes. I can't wait.
But peanut butter is not considered as sweet.
Nope. I can get in on that.
Yeah.
I like honey. I can do natural sweets.
Okay. All right.
So I can't wait to just pig out on sweets. What should be the first thing I eat when I get back from my sweets fast?
Oh, tough to go wrong with a Snickers bar.
It really is.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the Snickers. They satisfy.
That they do.
Yeah.
I suppose we should talk about Late Night Boomin' a little bit more.
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
Sorry.
All right. So we've told, don't ever be sorry about that on this show. It goes off the rails.
Off the rails.
Yep. In fact, that might, actually somebody is using that now as a show name.
Really?
Yeah. Like a big celebrity or something.
They coined it already?
Yeah.
Off the rails.
Off the rails. But there's still one that And I think it's out there, but I should have originally named this show Weekend Eve because it comes out on Thursday, and that's Weekend Eve.
Weekend Eve.
Yeah, but here it is. It's the Dave Holly Hour because that's all the imagination of the entire marketing team could come up with for this show. But then we decided, hey, arts and entertainment, and then we got to throw the Weekend Eve thing in there because so many things in Sioux Falls and the Sioux Empire happen on Thursday nights. And we love to be part of that. And it's going to be fun to be at Late Night Boomin' Season 2, Episode number 1, being filmed tonight. All right. You also have a new person on staff. You have a new co-host.
Yes, Mr. Reed Baxter.
Oh,
Man,
funny guy.
He cracks me up.
Yeah.
That Reed, I tell you what. So I met Reed a couple years ago. He was on Season 1. He came on the episode. He was first on the episode with Mayor Paul, and so he did some stand-up. And then he kind of, he was a recurring character. He was a security guard who would arrest folks off stage. And so we asked the security guard, we said, hey, what do you want? And he's like, let's do it. And so Mr. Reed Baxter.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, from security guard to co-host.
Yes.
And what about guests that will be on Season 2, F1?
Yes. Okay, so tonight we've got Sammy Stevens. Okay, now Sammy Stevens is the quote-unquote godfather of memes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so basically, kind of the thing is, when YouTube was first getting started, before the idea of a meme was even a thing, Sammy created a video that was a commercial for his furniture store. But he made it as a rap, and then he put it online, and it blew up, and people just loved it. And he went on the Ellen show. It was like parodied on the Cleveland show, Family Guy, things like that. And so that helped pave the way for memes as we know them today.
Right.
And so we're going to be talking with him, and he's coming here to Sioux Falls.
Wow,
And
that's awesome.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so we're excited to pick his brain on what it's like to be a meme.
And I'm just amazed that Potter would pay for that.
I know.
Yeah.
I wonder what Potter thinks of memes.
Yeah.
You know?
He's probably, what do you mean, Mimi?
What do you mean?
You know? Yeah.
Mimi, what is that?
Two of me would be better.
Yeah.
I hope that's an okay, imitation of the man.
Yeah. It's canny. It's uncanny.
Oh, well, thank you.
Uncanny.
Thank you.
Your
I
impression.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is going to be on episode 1 then? Do we have
Yes. Okay, so there's a surprise at the end. I think we should talk about it here, though.
Okay.
Because,
let's do it.
we got to treat our loyal listeners.
Yes, we do.
Yes. And maybe this will entice them to come, too. The USF choir is going to help sing Sammy's song with us.
Oh.
And so they will be there and singing with us.
I think I might even know a few that are in that USF choir.
Yes,
That'll be
yes.
awesome.
So they're coming on by, and they're gonna chop it up with us, and we're gonna have some fun.
Oh my! I tell you, it's just a great show, and like you mentioned, it is free to come to the filming.
Yes.
And then additionally, it's family entertainment.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about any F-bombs.
Nope.
Even, it's still, at most, it gets pushed to a PG-13.
Yes.
But,
right.
primarily PG or G.
That's right.
That you're going to be experiencing, and people laugh yet. And it's just so much fun. You got a very creative writing group. Why don't you tell us about those people?
Oh my goodness. We also have a couple new writing members as well. We've got Isaiah Henderson and Megan Sunvold have joined the team. And they have been amazing. They have got such great experience in things like show choir and emceeing events and things like that. And so they've really brought an awesome flavor to the team as well. And so it's really, really cool. We meet together, and we kind of just it's really just throw the first stupid idea that comes to your brain out, and it's probably going to stick, you know, and then we just run with it. And so,
That's great. I remember a gal that I worked with in radio years ago. Her college internship she took at an ad agency down in Sioux City. And she told us how their process worked for creating a creative ad.
Yeah.
They would go in and have all the writers around and say, okay, what is the absolute stupidest thing we could come up with? And then they'd work backwards until they found a happy medium.
Really?
As to what was going to be the most effective, but still be creative. But they never started with safe stuff. And then people, no. Everything starts as wild as it could be and go backwards on it.
Whoa.
And I get that feeling from the Late Night Boomin staff, too.
Yes.
When you just said, let's see what sticks, it might be the best.
Yes, I think, yeah. And that is, except we usually don't end up working backwards very far. But
reverse only goes so long.
That's a really cool strategy.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of, have you ever talked about this sign that you have here on your desk?
Once or twice.
On the
Go
podcast?
ahead and tell people.
I love this. So we're sitting here in the Dipsy Doodle Productions studio, and there's this sign here that says, the creative process. 1, this is awesome. 2, this is tricky. 3, this sucks. 4, I suck. 5, this might be okay. 6, this is awesome. What can you tell me about this sign? And
well, ironically, it was a meme.
Was it?
Yes,
Whoa.
It came up as a meme, and I said, "Okay, I got to have that one."
Yeah,
and it's just people that are involved in arts and entertainment when they sit down here in your spot and find that,
yeah,
they're like, "Oh, that's 100%."
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's so true. Like just with anything creative, you know, it's like there are so many hurdles to go through sometimes, and then it's those moments where you realize, wait, this is awesome. Where it's worth it in the end, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes even the crap ideas, you just look back at them and have a laugh.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Because I can't remember who recently that was on the show that said basically everything you do is art. And it's such an amazing thing, and you think about it for trial by error and so forth. You may have tried something once, thought it was great, and it flopped, and you go, well, don't need to do that again. Then you may go back to something that you thought flopped and go, you know what, if we just do this, and then it's a hit.
Yeah. And
you guys are under more of a little bit of stress because you've got X amount of days to put a show together. But, in terms of like visual artists and so forth, or songwriters that we have in the area, they will have things on hold for years sometimes and then go back to it and go, yeah, this is what we were looking for to begin with. So the creative process is a fantastic thing.
And sometimes that does, like, sometimes you'll be working on something so much and you just need to take a step back from it. And then you step back in, you say, okay, like you kind of get a fresh perspective on it and everything.
Exactly.
And it is definitely a process.
Yeah.
And it's not always something you can force, right? Like,
true.
You can't just, like, if you're going to sit and write something, there's 2 types of work. There's work that you can just sit down and do. Like, okay, I'm going to knock this out. I got to organize these things. I got to put this there, right? But then there's work where it's like, I've got to come up with this from scratch. This has to be something, and that's something you can't just sit down and do. That's something that you really have to like a lot of times just bounce off of someone else, or you never get ideas when you sit down and say, okay, I need an idea.
Right.
It's like you're always in the most random places when you get these ideas.
Yeah. Creative people, I think one of the biggest things that came along for creatives is the cell phone where you could write down some notes.
Yeah.
Or even do a voice note.
Yes.
And for me, my voice notes are actual voices.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, let's do a guy like this. So I'll record that on a voice memo.
Yeah.
And then I can listen back to him and go, okay, I could use that for this client, different things along that line.
Yes.
All right. So we've talked about who's going to be on. The Season 2, Episode 1.
Yes.
That is being filmed tonight at the Belwis Theater in the Washington Pavilion, 7 p.m. It is free.
Yes.
And then you talked a little bit about the new writing staff. What else do we have for new staff on there?
Well, let me tell you something. We have got one thing I should mention is we have also partnered with Southeast Technical College.
Oh.
And so when you come to the show, you're going to see students filming this thing. And so they're there. They are filming.
And getting credit?
Yes. And it's part of their
Awesome.
class and everything.
Yeah.
And so they're going to get in the weeds with, what's it like to shoot a TV show?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to really get in on all that type of stuff? And so that's going to be really cool. We got them. We've got the wonderful Miss Rebekah Swift.
Yes.
Who
I keep trying to get on this show.
Oh, she's just so great.
So she'll be there tonight?
She will be there tonight. Yep, you got to
Okay, I'm going to pin her down and
yes,
say, okay.
pin her down. And if you can't do
Next
it,
week.
tell Mr. Potter, and I'm sure he'll get her to.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have him send a threat, as he does with everyone.
Yeah, he pretty well does do that. Wow. Ooh.
But she is amazing. She is one of the most talented people around. She can do incredible makeup. She can sing. She was on American Idol. She draws, like, just everything.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My goodness. I think the first time I was going to have her on, we had a date and time set, but then there was a snowstorm, and
that was probably last winter.
Yeah.
Every day was a snowstorm.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we got all those people, and what should a person that's never been to a Late Night Boomin' show expect?
Ooh, okay. You should expect, I would say expect the unexpected, but I feel like that would be setting you up for failure, because the bar is even lower than that. When you walk in, it is the vibe is so unique because the band that we have, Chuck Case and the Late Night Boomers, they just set the vibe. So when you walk in, you're going to hear them playing. And you can sit, like my grandma will love to sit start to finish, even after the show ends. They're there playing. She'll sit the whole time. Just the best of the best in town. And so you come on in and they're playing, and then we sit everyone down and we say, all right guys, we're gonna get started. And so how the show works is we actually film 2 television episodes in one night.
Right.
So we have one show, 2 episodes. And so it's kind of cool being part of the audience, because you get to see behind the scenes of all of that. You get to see us say, all right, guys, we're done with this first episode. We're going to go into the second one now. So, we're going to have some applause, and just like getting everyone into the spirit of it all. And aside from that, the only thing you can expect is to walk out of there with a big old smile on your face.
Never been disappointed that way with this show.
Yeah.
And of course, there's recurring characters that pop up, and you've always got, some sort of game that's going to take place.
You've got games.
Yeah, and so that's always cool. But one of the things, the first time I ever stepped on the set for Late Night Boomin' as a particular North Pole type character, I'm sitting there because I'm intrigued. I went to Southwest Minnesota State University. Back then it was just Southwest State University, so that'll age me. But I took speech communications, radio and television. That was radio and TV was my major.
Yeah.
And so I like to, look at gear. I like to look at scripts. I like to, just kind of peruse it all. And the first time I was backstage and I'm seeing everything laid out with what the camera cues were, what the audio cues were, and so forth, the big matrix for it.
Yes, the matrix.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, we're not just shooting a little thing to have a little bit of fun. This is professional. And I've always appreciated that about you, that, yeah, you're going to go on and have a bunch of fun, but same token, we're doing it right.
That's right.
And I also love the Late Night Boomin logo in the backdrop.
Oh, that's my mom. My mom is just great with those graphics. And
that she is.
And a lot of those things, like the call sheets or the audio cues, the camera cues, are just an accumulation of us not doing that before,
right? And
failing and being like, okay, well, if we did
that creative process,
the creative process, exactly. And so that's why, like, failure, they say failure is the best teacher, but it really is, because those sometimes are lessons that you learn the hard way of, like, you know,
true,
this completely tanked and it is horrible, but we're never going to do that again, you know? And so, or you use something new and you're like, oh, this is great. Like sometimes we'll use on set, what do they call them? Storyboards, like where each shot is laid out. And so, you know, just finding, hey, this makes things go way quicker, and just, you build it as you go. And then before you know it, you kind of look back and you say, how did we ever do it without all this stuff before, you know? Like, I'm sure you've, like, with all the audio equipment that you've got.
Oh,
you know?
True. Yeah. You know, I age myself often when I talk about my early days in radio, and, you know, that we would have to splice tape and then use Scotch tape over that to put it together.
Like actual Scotch tape?
Yeah, you used they made a special tape, but a lot of owners and general managers were too cheap to actually buy it. So, well, you just use Scotch tape. Okay. But you would actually cut the tape, and then you'd find it where you needed to cut it again. Like if you misspoke a word, but then immediately went back to repronounce it. And then you would splice it together and tape it so it'd be ready to go once again.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and then, you know, so all of those things. And I tell people so often, one time there was a guy from a Denver radio station, and I was working at a Greeley, Colorado radio station. And he said, well, should we swap tape? Because I had an interview from earlier in the day that he wanted, and he had one I wanted. And, you know, swapping tape, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, we put the cassette in one. We got another little cassette deck over here, and we got a wire to put between them. And that was it. You know, now it'd be, hey, I'll email that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to, can I text it to you?
I'll just airdrop it.
Yeah. Airdrop, exactly. It's like,
that is
man.
crazy. Like, just the evolution of how technology has advanced.
Oh,
someone
phenomenal.
Said, like, I saw this, it was a meme. It said, the 1900s were wild. It started out with sliced bread being the biggest invention, and it ended with Seinfeld on TV. It's like, that is nuts to me, you know? Like, they didn't even have cars at the beginning of the 1900s.
I remember when I turned 25, my mother had found this great article about people turning a quarter of a century that year. And I didn't think of it as, wow, a quarter of a century. Yeah. And then all the things that had happened in my lifetime up to that point. And, you know, now here I am at 61 going, you know, back when we did that, got that 25th, there wasn't anything as digital recording yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's amazing what's happened. Yeah. Hey, you know, and we need to talk about a couple of other people for sure.
Yes.
That are on staff.
Of course.
Yeah. Your brother, Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah. Who I always want to say Cousin Eddie just because of the Cousin Eddie character. But, but he's a dandy.
Yeah, a dandy.
Yes, he is, man. I love that kid. It's so fun to work with him.
Old Ed.
Yeah. And so fun to work with everybody on staff, even Mitch Wilson. And then Siege.
Yes, Ed and Siege. And so the three of us have been filming together since we were little.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Eddie and I, obviously growing up together, I think we were 9 when we started. I was 9 and he was 6 when we picked up a camera and we're filming ourselves playing with Legos. And then Siege, who, for those of you who are confused by the name, his actual name is Cole James Anderson, CJA, and then we just turned it into Siege.
Yes,
because, you know, we're big nickname.
Yeah, that we are. You know, and in fact, when he and your brother were on the show, that was a source of discussion.
Yes.
So is it Siege, or you know, had to get down the pronunciation of it and so forth? But,
yes, and so. The three of us, and we were just talking about this the other day, we've been filming together for our whole lives. And so, it makes a big difference with those guys and just with everyone on the team, of just like, I've had jobs in my life where like either I'm working alone, like I had a job where I was just driving around town and just doing tasks on my own. But man, it makes a difference when you're doing a job, but you're doing it with people that you just love to hang out with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we were just talking about, how we've been filming together for so long, and man, it's just been such a great journey. And all the people we've met along the way, and Lord's just blessed us with an amazing crew, and we can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, and we will see that starting tonight. Season 2, Episode 1. Come join us all at the Washington Pavilion, Belbus Theater, 7 p.m. Get there early, though, because it's free. So, find a really, really good seat then.
Find a good
do
seat.
it that way.
Hold on to it for your dear life.
All right. You've been on the show a few times, so the typical questions that I ask at the end, we're going to do it differently this time. So here we are into a new year. It's going to be a new season. Mm-hmm. Now, were you one of those resolution makers, or are you a goal setter?
I have never done either at the start of a year in my life.
Really?
Until this year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. Like I had never done a resolution or a goal. I mean, I always have like goals and stuff, but I never like sat down, okay, it's January 1st. What am I going to do by December 31st? Right.
Right.
And I wasn't going to do it this year, but then my buddy sent me a text and he said, it was like, it had like 5 different categories. I can't remember what they all were. It was like friendships, career goals, like health, like all these categories or whatever.
Yeah.
And he sent me his, and he's like, I want to see yours. So I was like, okay. And I wrote them out. And funny enough, I actually find myself looking at my notes. I have them in my notes on my phone. I find myself like looking at them.
Yeah.
And so I do have goals written out for the year. I've been what's the difference between a resolution and a goal?
A resolution is something that you say you're absolutely going to do, and then if you break it, you're upset with yourself, and so forth. For a goal, like you said, we got till December 31st, and you can reassess goals all the way throughout, or you may even rename them. Like one of my goals for Big D Entertainment was like a new copier and a new computer, things like that. And then I realized I really don't need either one of those. But there's still other things that I want, but I know they're going to take some time and probably more than a year. So now it's I've got that listed as work towards. Work towards these things that you'll be able to have to do better and so forth. Yeah.
That's really good. I like that as a thought because I heard someone talking about how a lot of times we're trying to be, obviously we all have like role models, things we look up to. We want to try to be like other people. We want to try to be better than other people. Comparison is a big thing in America. But he said, every single day, if you are just better than you were yesterday, think about the progress that you'll make. Yeah. Sometimes it's just small things, like small steps forward. And that's why I love how you phrase it as something to work towards,
Yeah. So I've got that list. But always a pleasure, Jack Unruch, to have you on the show. And thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yes, it's always great to be here. You are the man.
Oh, I appreciate that, buddy.
Yes.
And we'll see you tonight.
Yes, I'll see you tonight.
All right. Back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics, inside Oscar's Mini Storage. Bisque, studio time, painting parties, and finished items are available. Visit TJS Ceramic Studio in Sioux Falls today.
once again, Dave Holly.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, I think even the people sitting here could probably say it along with me. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment, because that's pretty much what these people do all day long, all season long. There's no off season when it comes to shows to be in or to be directing camps or doing something. We have 3 incredible members of Good Night Theater Collective. We'll go from left to right. You're listening to it, you can't tell that. Bob Wendland, one of the originators of Good Night.
Hi, Dave.
How are you, sir?
I'm thrilled to be here.
I am glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in the Dipsy Doodle production
My very
studio?
first time in studio,
I thought so.
yes.
I think Rachel's the only one that has been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
right.
just never invite me over, so I've been,
been
waiting.
Ouch.
That's not true. I feel like I've probably stood you up a few too many times to be making that joke on radio.
Well, I always am glad to have you on, because you were on the second episode I ever had.
It's true. That is true.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we were sitting there going, well, how long do you think we can do this? What's going to be the gig at the Dave Holly Hour show? And the first week I had like 25 downloads. And then Bob Wendland shares on episode number 2 hashtags every single person, every single thought he's ever had. And suddenly within the first hour, we have 76 downloads.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we'll keep doing it then.
Yeah.
When you are married to a marketing professional, some of those things you just kind of like glean as you go.
True.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
All right. And Rebekah Merriman, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
I am delighted to be here.
Yes, but first time here at the Dipsy Doodle.
Yes.
So great to have you. And then Rachael Payne.
Hi, Dave.
How are you?
I am great. Thanks for
Wonderful. I'm just going to go with the fact I have the feeling you're feeling better than the last time you were here.
I am feeling so much better, Dave.
Yeah.
So much better. I am all in one piece this time around.
That's
so
good.
That's good.
You had just broken some ribs or something.
I
right?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I was here was my first outing after.
And then you walked over. I mean, you're in the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah. I'm just down the street.
Yeah.
And
And then
walked
you
over
walked
and-
over, but it was like,
Yeah. But you're worth it, Dave.
oh, my. I take people's breath away.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, something like that, right?
All right. So this comes out on Thursday morning. And guess what happens Thursday night? There's a show that's opening for Good Night Theater Collective, and it happens to be a well-known one, Sense and Sensibility, and you ladies happen to be in it. Tell us about your parts, Rebekah.
I play Mrs. Dashwood, who is the mother of the 2 leads, Eleanor and Marianne, and so I get to watch over them, and they're 2 very different girls. So
This gets done a lot. Have you been in this production before?
I never
you
have
not.
Never have.
Never
no.
had. So it was a good challenge for you.
Oh
then.
yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love all things Jane Austen, so
yeah,
it's been a dream. To
there
be
are a
in.
lot of people that do. Yeah, and so then Rachael, tell us about your character, and have you been in anything prior?
I'm playing the role of director of the show, Dave. And
well done.
And
You get to boss everybody around.
Well, no, what I really get to do is say, hey, Rebekah, how does this look? Hey, Whitney, how does this look? Which is great, because it's been awesome having Rebekah with us, because she is a pro at anything Jane Austen. And so that's been and all the actors really have been wonderful at contributing their thoughts and
All
their
right.
feelings. And
Well, then tell us the rest of the cast and what parts they have and what we can
Yeah.
expect out of
Okay,
this.
Rebekah, let me know if I forget anyone. So we have Rebekah Merriman playing Mrs. Dashwood. We have Whitney Rapina playing Eleanor Dashwood. Lily Satterley is playing Marianne Dashwood. We have Drew Vierink playing Colonel Brandon. Tristan Chasinghawk is playing Edward Ferris. Tatiana Chance is new to our company, but certainly not new
love
to
her.
She's so wonderful.
Yeah, she is so great
just-
to watch.
Yeah, she we call her Fanny Face, because she gives so much facial expression. So no spoilers too much, but watch for her. She plays Fanny Dashwood, and then Josh Allen plays her husband, John Dashwood. We have Sam Martin, who just graduated from USF, playing Willoughby.
Okay.
We have Beth Olson,
Oh.
who is new to our company, but again, not new to Sioux
A
Falls Theater.
veteran in this area.
She is a vet, and I'm just feeling so lucky to have her. She's so good. She's so funny and very dedicated. Matt Morrison, you know him, you love him.
Yes, we do.
Playing Sir John. And we have Molly Driscoll.
Without any facial hair, correct?
Without any facial hair.
Molly Driscoll has no facial hair.
Molly has none. Matt has none.
Okay, so I was just a second behind on it when she mentioned Matt Morrison.
No, I'm on a roll. I should have given Matt the time he deserved. Matt Morrison, no facial hair, no glasses.
Well, for those of us that don't know Matt and have been taking a look at him for several years, oh, wow.
Well, for the past...
How do you get that mustache curled like that, man?
For the past 10 years, Dave. It's been 10 years since he shaved. So, and then we have Molly Driscoll playing Lucy Steele, and she is a wonderful, talented actress and directs at Jefferson High School.
You have a great cast that has been assembled.
You can say that again.
What is it? I was almost going to do it just for fun. What is it that you enjoy most about them?
About this cast?
About this cast.
Oh my gosh, they're so willing to try new things. I mean, we're 2 nights from opening, and we're still trying new things and collaborating, and I just love to hear their ideas and their takes on the characters. It's quite a challenge to take a story that was first published in 1811 and breathe new life into it, and that's what these characters are doing. Really, you have such a challenge of how do we make this pertinent to,
relevant,
to 2024, and they've just done that in spades, and it's just brilliant to watch. And they're just such a yes and cast. I know that's kind of cliche. I asked Rebekah if she would help with some choreography things, and of course,
gosh, would she?
Yes.
Twist my arm.
In true Rebekah fashion, she said yes and totally exceeded my expectations. So that's just been kind of the name of the game with this cast.
So Rebekah, what is Rachel like as a director?
Oh, she's
I can leave the room.
No, she's great. I think especially like tackling Jane Austen, I have loved hearing how much she just respects the literature. Like her having the novel in rehearsals, and like I will see her like looking through the book at different times, which for me who loves Jane Austen and her words, it's fun to just get to hear just Rachel's ideas and how much she understands the meaning of the language, even though the language is so old, like, and has really pushed us to be like, what are you actually saying here? Don't let the words get in the way of the meaning. You got to make sure you know what you're trying to communicate here, even though the language is a lot more flowery than what we're used to. And so I really appreciated that with Rachel, that she just respects the language and wants to be able to communicate the story in a way that was understandable. So yeah, it's been wonderful to work with Rachel.
So Rachel, you still wanted to give it relevance to current time, but you also wanted to pay tribute to the language itself.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And what did you find most difficult then? I mean, Rebekah says you're sitting there looking at the novel while you're trying to direct and everything.
You know, with any adaptation, you've got a novel that's 300 and, some pages, and truncating that into a play that's going to read to the audience and be entertaining and not be 5 hours long is quite a challenge. And so when comparing the novel with the play, there's challenges that come there. And then I think the challenge for all of us, me as a director and the actors, is knowing the lines, getting the lines memorized, and at the same time knowing the modern day translation while you're remembering and delivering the lines and reacting to what others are saying. It's just a major challenge, but very rewarding. So I've been using words like, oh, this scene is so sparkly. And last night I said to Rebekah, the scene that you and Whitney have, it just crackles. So when it's on, it's on. But to get there, it takes a little bit longer than perhaps a more modern show might.
Yeah. How long have rehearsals been going on?
Well, we started the day after Legendary closed.
Wow.
And so that's like about 6 weeks ago. And then, of course, we're sharing actors with our next show, Sweeney Todd. And so, like you said at the top of the show, Dave, we never quit.
And the other great thing is you're going to be in the Schulte room.
Yes.
This time around, correct?
I just love
Very
that
intimate
space.
when you get to be in that. I just, every time I've seen something in there, I've been thrilled. I haven't been one of those to go, oh, we're in the Schulte? No. Take advantage of the fact that you're going to see something really great.
Yeah.
And just a few feet away from you.
Right. It's a great space. It's an awesome opportunity to get creative. Bob helped design the set for the show, which I think I'm very proud of. I think you should be too, Bob. And it's something so cool and so original that you wouldn't necessarily see on a proscenium stage. And that's what's so great about that Schulte space.
Was this another yes and?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, our first meeting, Rachel and I sat at Gist, and we both had our little ideas in our head, and we sat there and we sort of caught up because it had been a while since we had seen each other. So we shot the proverbial, SH word for a while. And then finally I was like, okay, I have a drawing. And I pulled my drawing out and Rachel pulled her drawing out and it was the same. So we were just like exactly on the same wavelength before speaking a word about the show. So yeah, it's fun when you get to work with people for so long that you kind of like understand their sensibilities, as it were. It just makes the process so smooth and exciting, and you get to be creative and you have to problem solve together. I think one of the things that I'm proudest of about the end result of this set is that it looks really effortless. And the way that the actors move about it and move it itself seems really effortless.
True.
But those of us that have been innately involved in it know that it was not effortless. It's a very like minimal set that required a lot of problem solving, and it was problem solving done by a lot of different people. And so that I think the part of that process is what I'm proudest of.
Yeah.
So,
and that'll be great to see, because it's always a challenge when you do have an intimate theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have your fly system, you don't have a whole bunch of gear around and so forth. So you got to make it work in whatever fashion you can make it work.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So what time does it start tonight?
So rehearsal tonight, we're called at 6.
This comes out Thursday, so.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. I forgot you were director.
Go back.
You're living in the future.
Tonight's show starts at 7:30 p.m. in the
7:30. Okay, fantastic. I'm sorry I will miss your opening night.
That's all right, Dave.
Because I'm across the hall. Late Night
Boomin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll be at that.
Weekend.
It is a busy weekend.
But I think we're going to be there Saturday night.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
So we got stuff going on all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things to talk about here on this show so often is the growth and explosion of the arts in the Sioux Empire. Now, I grew up down in Rock Rapids, a quick 35-minute jaunt back in 1979 was the first year I drove up here. And, 68,000 people. Now it takes 45 to 50 minutes to get down there to get through everything. But we have grown exponentially as a community. But now just over I want to say like the past 10 to 20 years is when we have really just been able to get the quality of entertainment and art that we have in the town, and the numbers as well.
Yeah, the quantity.
And obviously, Pop, I would think that played into when you guys decided to start Good Night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there were a lot of different organizations that were kind of, that all kind of started at the same time. I mean, Improv Falls started around that time. Monstrous started, I think, like 3 months before we had our first show. So they're kind of our twin sibling in the performing arts. But yeah, I also just think of all of the iterations of the community theater. I mean, the community theater's been around for a very long time. It's had different names and it's, had different leadership. But you look back at some of the chapters of that organization and think about the chapter that it's in right now. And it's just so exciting to see the growth. They have a show this weekend too that I'm super excited to see on Sunday because it's the only day that we can go. But
that's our Friday night.
Okay, perfect. Yes, yeah. I mean, and I think that's what's so exciting is that everybody's doing something a little bit different. Everybody's doing something just very high quality, and there are so many people who are involved in so many different organizations, and it wasn't always that way. And so it's really exciting to be a part of this entertainment community that's just so supportive of each other. It's really neat.
There's no doubt about that it is supportive, and so keep it up, people. Yeah, we like that part. And also the venues. TPP is going to be in Startup Sioux Falls.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah,
and it's a great little spot there. And so we've got Sens and Sensibility going on this weekend. And we've got the others that we have mentioned. What are you two, as cast and director, looking forward to most about putting this on?
Like I said before, I've loved Jane Austen for a long time. I started a Jane Austen book club like 15 years ago where we'd have tea parties and discuss Jane Austen. One time I did a staged reading of Pride and Prejudice in the park where we all dressed in white. I'm a geek about Jane Austen. And so last night at rehearsal while we're doing the ball dance, I totally blanked out just in pure joy of I'm living my dream. So I think honestly, just the next couple of days of just getting to soak it in, of like I get to live in a world that I've read about and listened to and like have just delighted in for so long, and so to get to be in it for those couple of days of just like getting to soak that in. So
was this a dream role or production that you wanted to
mean, for sure, I love Sense and Sensibility, and I think it's such a, I don't know, I think it's such a good story. And again, like as Rachel was saying, like relatable today of just like relationship and how we process things and how we understand, like, do I lead with my head? Do I lead with my heart? How do I respect other people who are different than that? How do I choose to listen to them and like not just judge them because maybe they handle things differently than I do? Like, I feel like the story has so much to say in that. And so, yeah. So, I mean, it's for sure a dream to just get to be in it, to speak Jane Austen's words. So, yeah.
Rachel, what are you looking forward to most?
I really like Rebekah's answer because I think my answer is Rebekah is playing it for the Rebekah Merrimans of the world, the Austenites. I'm really excited for, I think, what will be a majority of our audience who has never maybe even heard of the book, or certainly they've heard of Jane Austen, but maybe they just think Pride and Prejudice. But this story is such a wonderful one too. I can't wait for those people to see how hard these actors have worked and to walk away saying, oh, well, I didn't know what to expect, but that was so charming and so lovely and so wonderful, and I enjoyed it so much. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, it's going to be, I'm just going to put it out there, it's going to be great. I know it will be. Anytime that you people are involved in anything, it tends to be great, which is why Good Night Theater Collective continues to grow. And let's see, is there going to be an announcement at the show tonight?
There is going to be an announcement at the show tonight, but anybody who listens to this before then is going to get the scoop. Yeah, so everybody at the show tonight is going to hear this 2 times, but we wanted to announce season 9, which is wild to think about that we're already that far into this little project that we all started 9 years ago. We're going to announce season 9 right here and now.
Well, let's get to it.
All right. Well,
tell me.
Yeah. So I'm going to have these 2 ladies help me out when we get to the last 2 shows, because each of them will be directing one of the last 2 shows. So surprise. I didn't warn you that you would be doing that, but I think you probably know the show. Yeah. So we're going to do 6 shows next season. And certainly we'll have a few pop-up things happening throughout the season, but our 6 core shows will happen between the months of October and April. So we're going to take a little bit of a longer summer next year. We just, we want to play sand volleyball and go to the beach and
Go to the beach?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know that I'll go to the beach, but I think somebody probably will. So, and, we'll fill our summers with other things, I'm sure. But starting in October, when you think of October as a month, you kind of think, spooky. You think maybe like, blood and guts a little bit. I don't know that I can promise blood and guts in this production, but this fall we're going to Raise the Dead.
Oh my.
Yeah, based on a beloved 60s cult classic film, a horror film to be exact. We are going to present a comedic take and also a live radio play avenue. We're going to do an adaptation through that lens from the writer of, and you might know him, you might love him as much as I do. He's the writer of Salem and Legendary Adventure, Reality Wives. Yeah, you maybe saw him.
Initials BLT.
They might be. Yeah, you might have seen him on stage, which is a rarity a few months ago in Miracle on 34th Street. He's going to do an adaptation of...
I didn't know he could sing.
I hardly knew he could sing. He's a man of many wonders. So we're going to do an adaptation of Night of the Living Dead. And by we, I mean he's going to write it. I'm going to have nothing to do with it. So it'll be a small cast. It'll be in the radio play setting that so many have loved about our productions of, obviously, Miracle on 34th Street. But then a few years ago when we did... It's a Wonderful Life that I directed and completely blanked on the title of just now. Thank you, Rebekah. So that'll be a blast. We're really excited about that. And then in November, Mr. Ben Van Moore is going to direct a show for us for the first time for us, but certainly not in his life. He's directed many things before. We're going to deliver a Goodnight signature cabaret that people have come to know and love. But this time we're going to transport you back to the hustle and the bustle of the decadent Studio 54 era, clear through to the modern nightclub hits. So we're going to ask everybody to put on their dancing shoes and prepare for an event worthy of a velvet rope. It's an after-hours cabaret. Yeah,
I like
kind of
that.
classy, kind of maybe not so classy in some parts, but in the way that we love a cabaret to be. So we got to keep those cabarets rolling.
I've been in a murder mystery before about Studio 54.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you still have that costume that you wore?
Actually, I just dyed the beard black except for one white streak down
there. You go. All right, we will expect that.
And then I was a parody of Wolfman Jack. I was Wolf God Jake.
Nice.
Very good.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Plan your outfits now. So that'll be in November, and then the very next month, just in time for the holidays, we're going to ask everybody to join us and experience the beloved cinematic masterpiece like never before. See Christmas through the eyes of one eager, bespectacled child. That's that word. Can you tell that Luke also wrote these words for me and I can't really speak them? With a taste for firearms. This kid loves firearms. If you haven't already figured out what it is, this next clue will certainly give it away. Light your leg lamp for this musical adaptation from the composers behind Dear Evan Hansen and La La Land. It's Christmas Story, the musical.
Oh my.
So,
Red Ryder BB gun.
Exactly, yes.
Keep your eye out, kid.
I'll be directing that one with a just incredible creative team that I'm very excited to work with, many of them, again, for like the 4th or 5th or 6th time. We're going to have kiddos in this musical, as I'm sure you can assume with the show. And yeah, it's one that I've done before and have just been itching to do again because it's just, the music is delightful. The story is one that has been like so near and dear to my heart since I was a kid. I mean, watching it on TNT on repeat every Christmas with my family. So so it's exciting. It's one that I'm guessing a lot of people don't know, but it's one that I would definitely suggest you Spotify because the music is just so much fun. It takes you by surprise. It's really, really good. Lots of fun dancing opportunities, and Lisa Conlon's going to lead the choreo for that one. Jane will make everybody sound as beautiful as she always does. So, yeah, it'll be great. Rachel Winters is going to join us again for stage management, and very excited about that one. So that'll sort of round out 2024 for us.
All right.
And then we'll fly into 2025, and at the beginning of February, we're going to do another musical. And this one is a hilarious rendition of a Tony-winning musical comedy following the grade school pride of a fictional county taking on the ultimate spelling test. We're going to be taking on the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. So that one will be very fun. Whitney Rapana, who we've been talking about, who is in Sense and Sensibility, is directing that one. And we're just thrilled to have her in the director's seat again after directing Miracle on 34th Street.
You said early February. How early February?
I believe it's the second weekend. So whatever those dates are. Good. Yeah.
Good. I will be in Virginia Beach the first weekend.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So
I'm
as
getting
you're sitting on
to
the
be there too.
Ooh, nice. It's very good. As you're sitting on the beach, you can be like brushing up your spelling skills because if you're not familiar with that show, there is quite a bit of audience participation in that one. So not enough to scare you away if that's scary for you. Not everybody has to participate, but yeah. So we're very excited to do that one. That one's been on our short list for many, many years now, and we feel like it's finally time. We've got some just like comedic powerhouses in our collective right now, and we're excited to give them this task. So
all right.
And then in March, Rachel, who is like our resident Schulte room director, she knows how to take that space and just make it feel like the most magical place in town. She's going to be taking on a project that has been in her life for a little while too. So I'll hand it over to you.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to sound as good as Luke's.
Yeah, do you want the script?
Do you want his notes? Yeah. You haven't had time to memorize it yet.
It's like
we're not off book.
From the bottom.
Well, like
or in this case, off phone.
Like Bob said, I am familiar with this script. So let me just read this and then I'll put my 2 cents in. We're heading back to 1968 once more, this time to sneak a peek at a most ridiculous Tupperware party. Once the martinis start flowing, tension amongst this gaggle of gals turns everything but fresh. It's the uproariously inappropriate play sealed for freshness. This is such a fun show. When Luke asked, it's a little show that Bob did in college. It's are you familiar with the script? It's called Sealed for Freshness. I said, I absolutely am familiar with that script. I performed that script as my humorous interpretation piece in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, can you believe?
Early
what a
start to it.
Yes.
I love it.
And so that was
the
shortly after the
captions.
script was published. And so I came to know and love the characters, and it's very different from Sense and Sensibility in the best possible way. And I think our audiences will just be really tickled by it. It's a lot of fun and just goofy. And again, it's a Tupperware party. What's not to love?
Yeah, well, one of my oral insert pieces was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, Dave. Also a little bit different.
A little different.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
like Bob said, once again, back in the Schulte with our snuggly little cast. And
Excellent.
I just love that space. And
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So
good.
then the
Okay,
last
then
would
it's
be
me.
Rebekah.
All right.
Wrapping
Wow.
it up.
All right, closing out the season, Goodnight will tackle one of the best loved classic musicals of all time. Featuring a mountain of memorable tunes, a guitar-toting gal, about as iconic as musical theater itself, and 7 upstart children with a penchant for harmonizing. It's our very own take on Roger and Hammerstein's signature show, The Sound of Music. I know, I'm so excited. If me loving Jane Austen didn't already let you know, I am a lover of all things classic. So
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
to be able to direct Sound of Music will be a treat.
All right.
I'm very excited.
So it's months away, but what is your favorite song?
Oh
musical?
no,
Oh, no.
Dave, so mean. What a question.
Yeah.
I mean, Climb Every Mountain
Yes.
always makes me tear up.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
so
beautiful.
powerful and it's so beautiful. Like that song just like gets your heart. But like, oh my word, I don't know. It's so cute. Like
Won't it be
the
mine?
let's hear it.
Edelweiss.
Oh,
Oh, that's
so
Mm.
sweet. So it is.
That is lovely.
Hit the
Agreed.
heart. Yeah.
Mhm.
No doubt about that.
Mhm.
So, Bob, you got your work cut out for you.
We
got
That's-
our work
And that's
cut out
after
for us,
taking off a
right?
little bit more time in the
It's true.
summer.
It's true. Well, you know, if you're going to end your season with Sound of Music, you're probably good with 6. Like
Yeah.
6 shows feels like enough.
Leaving with a bang. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. But what about auditions for all of these?
Yeah, so audition dates are not set yet.
Okay.
But for the last, 8 years,
Typically
we've
in June.
held them in, end of June, beginning of July. So we'll be putting out information on that, and we'll definitely be looking for kiddos as well again this year, with both of our like marquee musicals being needing kiddos for them for A Christmas Story and for The Sound of Music, obviously. So yeah, we'll have a few days this summer for auditions, and we're excited to invite some new folks into the group like we do every year, and looking forward
and the
to
collective itself keeps growing too.
it
as
sure
well as the
does.
guests.
Yeah, we added 5 more people this year, so I think we're
Wow.
at like 32 people in the collective, and it just
Incredible.
it makes it possible for us to pick some of these massive shows. It makes
Right.
makes it possible for us to do a show as big as Sound of Music, or frankly even a show as like seemingly small as Sense and Sensibility. You know, we could have done that show so little and so sweet and so cute, and instead we have incredible powerhouse talent in every role, and in every role, including the offstage roles of director and stage manager. And so the product is always so impressive because every person that we have the privilege of working with is impressive. And so we just, continue to have, I would say that the December and January months every year are always us trying to figure out like, gosh, there are shows that we really want to do, but can we really do them? And then we'll like go to one of our own shows and see all of the people like on stage and behind the scenes doing what they do best. And it's like, why do we ever doubt ourselves? We can do anything with this group of people. So I'm very excited about season 9. It's going to be fun.
All right. As will everybody.
Yeah.
So if you weren't listening, you wouldn't know that you weren't listening. But if you were listening and just found this out, you got to tell all those other people that you know are going to Goodnight and say, man, if they got some good stuff coming up next year.
Yeah.
All right. You've all been on before, and you've answered those typical 2 questions of, when you're not involved in arts and entertainment, what do you like to be entertained by? And if, that doesn't lead you to talk about hobbies, then we'll ask about other hobbies. Well, since you've been on before, we're going to switch things up this time.
Oh, no.
I
was so ready for my answer.
I love it. Keeping us on our toes.
We're already 3 months into the new year, but I always like to talk about, are you a resolution person or a goal setter?
Right.
Personally, I set goals because you've got all year. And then at the end of the year, if you didn't get there, you can reassess it. Was it even a attainable goal to begin with, or something along that line? And maybe it's going to be a goal for next year because you found other things to take care of in the meantime. But so let's kind of go with what you have left on the agenda that you want to accomplish in 2024, Bob.
Goodness. You know, this is maybe a cop-out. This is maybe a lame answer to start at, because I'm sure these two lovely ladies have, like, literal mountains they're going to climb. But
oh, come on.
I'm very much looking forward to continuing to work on this idea of life balance. It's a new concept to me that my therapist has been very integral in introducing me to. But it started for me last summer, this idea of like taking time to just stop and reflect and celebrate wins and live in the moment a little bit more. I'm very much a goal person, but I have always been like a several goals at once kind of person, and a go kind of person. And when I don't hit the goal exactly how I want to hit the goal, then I dwell in how I didn't hit the goal instead of thinking about, oh, but you hit all 9 other goals.
Exactly.
So we're working through that. We're working through that, and we'll continue to work through that. But I have had a lot of really wonderful moments in the last 3 months of this year, just with the focus and the drive of finding a little more balance. So
well, as I would say on Family Feud, good answer.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Rebekah.
Well, mine I think is going to be a little similar to Bob's. I am not a resolution person, but I usually like pick a word for the year.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I'm
a lot of people have been saying that.
My word of the year, and so this year the word is interesting. The word is bask, and to me it's like the idea of choosing to kind of soak in things. The idea of I can't produce unless I receive first. You know, like a plant, like has to soak in sunlight before it can make fruit. And so like that idea of like, so just growing and choosing to soak in like the good things and like being present in that, like Bob was saying, and not just being in a hurry of what's next and what should I be preparing myself for, but trying to just enjoy each day and find those things that you're like thankful for and that are life-giving, and that you can just sit and just soak that in and bask in that, if that makes sense.
Great word.
That is a great
Lovely.
word.
Okay,
you get the final word. So Rachel.
Well, and I also do a word of the year, and I encourage my students to do a word of the year too. And my word of the year this year was wellness. And when I talk to my students about that, because I daylight as a middle school teacher, I said not just like, I want to eat a certain way or move my body in a certain way, but whole person wellness. So I think we all sort of are in the same vein. And I think most theater people, if you will, give and do. And so to think of like, okay, how can I bask, or how can I relax and balance? So wellness, balance, that's my word. And if wellness means I don't break my ribs again this summer, Dave, then that's my goal.
Fantastic.
Yes, good.
We'll see you around the neighborhood then.
I feel like I'm saying it so much I'm jinxing myself. But balance. That's
all right.
Wellness.
Good Night Theater, Sense and Sensibility opening tonight, and you can, if you didn't write them all down when Bob was talking, you'll hear them again tonight. What's coming up for the next season number 9. Whew.
And season passes are on sale right now, Dave. If you don't already have yours,
you can.
We'll be buying them right away.
Oh yeah,
we always do, because we got to get B1 through.
We got your favorite.
And we've got to have room for Richard too.
That's true.
And then the Hishas. Yeah. So,
all your buddies. Yeah.
We got a whole crew that goes out.
What a great idea, Dave. Everyone should get a group and go.
Well, and everyone should get season tickets every year for everything around here.
I agree.
Instead of worrying about extravagancies.
It's a different kind of extravagancy to go to the theater multiple times a year.
Take care of your locals. Because the talent in this town is tops. No doubt about that.
Agreed.
One of my best friends has been a season ticket holder at Good Night for many years, Shannon.
Since the beginning, I think.
Yes, and she's like, She says, I love doing season tickets because when it comes to the show, it's like I get a gift. It's like, oh, I already have a ticket. Oh, so it feels like a free show. It's like, oh, okay, I get a ticket already. So she's like, it takes you by surprise. And you're like, oh, fun.
Gifts to myself.
Yeah.
Built-in date nights.
Awesome. Again, thank you all for taking some time to be on the show today.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls. Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463.
Hot? No. Cute? No. Ruggedly handsome? Yes. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Thanks again to my great guests, Jack Unruch and Rebekah Merriman, Rachael Payne, and Bob Wendland. As always, the biggest thank you goes to each of you that listen, download, share, and follow. If you haven't done so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Besides information about the show, you'll find out when Dave Holly Hour Trivia is going on at Chasers. For all 220 episodes, go online at davehollyhour.com. By the way, use the search function on our website to look up when your favorite artists have been on before and listen to any of those previous episodes. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to davehollyhour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.